Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. This time we're going to be taking care of a little bit of side quest cleanup before leaving the Roland region. And for that we're going to start by going to the church and talking to these two here. Armand and Ellie. These were two NPCs that you could talk to in the first game and get a bit of their personal storyline, which is a developing romance. I probably should have brought Olivier for this, but he's had a bit of screen time this chapter so far, and he got quite a lot of screen time last chapter. And I believe they call this trope sickening sweethearts. Yeah, we have some time before we go and apprehend the culprit behind these coma cases. And they're at it again. Pretty sure Olivier would approve. I love Estelle here. Yes, simply and swiftly. Yep, so that ring was exactly what I suspected it was. Wait, you mean a student from Thor's military academy came and took that ring? Now he's demanding 5 mira for it? No, not really. He means the actual bird. You know, I have heard certain birds like shiny things, but this is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, there's a certain bird in Australia that particularly collects blue things, and they make a nest full of anything blue they can find. Well, we don't really have a lot to go on at this point, unfortunately. But this being a game, they wouldn't straddle us with a side quest we couldn't finish. North of Roland. That's a little vague, but there aren't a lot of places on the Malga Trail, and we can't get into the mine. And birds tend to make their nest in high places, so by process of elimination, there's really only one place it can be. And that is Esmelas Tower. So you can do this the moment you arrive in Roland, but I find it most efficient to do it now because there's also a monster side quest that unlocks after the farm that is at Esmelas Tower. So we'd be going there at this point anyway, so might as well put off the Esmelas Tower quest until now. And so it is up to us to save their marriage. So I'll see you at the tower. Okay, wow, the fog is really, really thick here. It's actually legitimately hard to see the enemies now. So you have to be really careful. And yes, I believe if you do try and go all the way to Malga Mine, you will notice that the fog has stretched all the way up there. Okay, here's the entrance to the tower, and if we look around, yep, that thing. And I believe we can't even get in there without... No, we can ignore it if we want to, so that's good. But we're gonna go ahead and fight this thing. So, it doesn't really matter where you position yourselves, because this thing can hit you anywhere on the field. It has an attack that hits everywhere. I guess I can put you three behind Estelle, because you're all kind of squishy. Actually, no, Sheriff can go in the front. And in terms of Orbment, you want single target Earth spells for this, in particular Earth Lance. Single target is very important, because Titanic Roar is actually not going to be a good idea at this point. As for equipment, I did go ahead and buy some anti-seal items. Yeah, the pearl earrings. Okay, let's fight this thing. So here we have 3 Thunderquakers, I'll just say the name now. It used to be called Thunderquake, but then they decided to make it more consistent with Cold Steel, because this thing does show up in Cold Steel. Thunderquake, a monster not native to the Bose region. Well, this is not even the Bose region, so it being not native to there doesn't really make sense. Yeah, it's like an enemy that we fought back in FC, which I think it had a similar description. So, the coral shells are the reasons why I was worried about using AoE attacks, because these things reflect arts. So you want to get rid of them as quickly as you can, or use single target Earth Art on the big ones. Now, do they reflect Clock Down or not? I'm actually not sure. I'm going to try anyway. Yeah, there's World Shaker. So we're going to need to keep healed throughout this fight, so I'm going to go straight for Vital Cannon. Because we're going to end up getting smacked with a lot of those things, and I'm not even going to bother with Atlas Hammer this time. And, you know what? Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, we got speed down on them. And, yes, it actually does lower your speed, so... Didn't realize that bounce back debuffs, but it does make sense. Okay, Smoke Cannon 2 should hit a lot of the small snail things. Once I take them out, I can safely use arts. Makes sense these things will be immune to blind, though, because they inflict blind. Yeah, these things tend to do quite a lot of damage quickly, but if you have AoE healing, which I don't have on Estelle right now, but let's see, can I actually? Nope, that's going to hit too many of the reflectors. Okay, Chloe, do you have any, Okay, Latira's fine, except Tita's gonna die because of the, That's a shame. I'm gonna have to S-break with Tita right now, so I don't waste her CP. I don't know how much this is gonna do. I doubt it will finish off the snail things. Nope. Nowhere near finishing them off. Well, at least that can actually miss. And Chloe's healing's pretty nice. Instantly took us out of Crisis Music. And here's why Shera being slow is actually pretty useful. She can do that. Still not exactly enough to get another good cast off. I try and do... Let's see... Guess I can try Petrify Cloud. And I want to save your CP for Vital Cannon, because I'll probably need that later. Unfortunately, the snails are now quickly approaching us, which is bad, because they can do that, but at least some of them are blinded. Okay, my heart skipped a beat there, because I was worried that would, hit Estelle and she'd lose her S-Craft. Okay, is that going to finish off one of them? Yes, it is. Good. I probably should have gone for the crit turn, but still... Is this going to do it? I might actually have to use Chloe's S-Craft here. Okay, that's another one down. But I am going to go ahead and panic S-Craft just in case. Yeah, you basically want good healing for this fight because you're going to be taking quite a lot of unavoidable damage. And once again, Heaven's Kiss is amazing. Tita is no longer blinded, which is good. She still doesn't do a lot of damage, though, with physical attacks. And with just one left, I can go ahead and spam some Earth Lances on it. Yeah, that bounced clock down on Chloe is, which is a hard thing to say, but it is definitely causing me issues, but hopefully this thing should go down soon. Oh, immediate next turn, which is kind of reminding me of how a certain thing ends up working in the Crossbell games. The Bell Quartz that are, let's just say kind of infamously overpowered in Cold Steel, but they were even better in the Crossbell games. I guess I can talk about that when I'm in the tower, because yeah, I may not have a lot to talk about, but don't really have that much to talk about in this fight either. Okay, that thing is almost down. I guess I can just use Stone Hammer. And the Thunder Quakers are all down, which means that all I have left are these things, which are ironically proving a little harder to beat due to their good defense and arts immunity. Okay, who has the... I guess I'll go for you. S-Crafts still do quite a lot to them, though. Yeah, we're actually decently healed, so I probably want to... Well, you're blinded, so that was a little to be expected. Actually, that might not be a bad idea, but I want to revive before I do that. Because otherwise Cheryl will miss out on the experience. Okay, here we go. Rainbow Surprise. Because as I've said before, that ignores defense. And now, finally... Nope, you're not going to die to that. There we go.
We're good to go.
No level ups out of that either. So, unfortunately, I should go back to town to heal, so I'll cut back here. Okay, so here we are back at the tower. Let's go in and search for a ring and grab some chests while we're at it. So it's the Esmelas Tower, the first tower in the original game, and one of the last we're visiting in this one. Because of that, its layout is fairly simple. I still like the trees growing in here. But here we have EP Charge. The chest is empty. Your screams of disappointment resound off its wooden walls. Lots of water seepeth. Look, I'm a chest and you're a human. Our love can never be. Let it go. That one's pretty good, actually. Forgot about that one. So in here, I think there's, okay, there's a fly skipper. I got the Shining Palm encounter first try. And watch them all flee. Okay then. What kind of... I could try and see how much damage this does. The other good thing about attack food is it has a very low cooldown on it, because it's counted as an item, and items can be used with very low cooldown. But yeah, wow, there's a huge difference between easy mode and, well, hard mode, because on easy mode, these things die to like 2 shots. There's this interesting formation you use with Zin to kill a large number of these Shining Palms, like all of them in a single battle, and it actually gets you 9,999 experience. But as it stands, yeah. On hard, it's not quite as easy to do that. Yeah, wow. I want to get at least one of them, though, because Chloe and Tina are falling a little behind. You're kind of expected to be level 60 for the boss of this chapter, and they're only 54, 55. Oh, that's not good. It's gonna run, isn't it? Of course it did. Well, some of them are staying here, but yeah. I should probably put Shadow Spear on more people. Okay, at least got one of them.
Well, that takes care of that.
Okay, Shara levels up, Tita levels up, Chloe levels up, Estelle levels up, and Tita leveled up again. Yeah. Even 1 is pretty solid for experience at this point. Anyway, Emerald Talisman, which makes your attacks wind elements. Not the best for this chapter, you would prefer the earth element one, but it can be nice to have for enemies weak to that. A small spider skitters from one side of the empty chest to the other. It's actually kind of cute. We've seen that one before. And yeah, for once we actually have regular Poms. It takes ages for them to show up in this game, but they kind of, well, they're pretty weak. This shouldn't take too long. Oh, and Petrify too. We will hopefully see Petrify a little later in this part. Yeah, they're not worth much experience either, but a decent amount of Wind Seepeth. So I believe, yeah, pretty sure there's only one exit to this area. And yet, nothing else. So let's go. I would say 3rd floor same as the first 2, but actually things diverge a little bit here. Nothing in the central part. Oh, those snails are annoying. They're not even difficult, they just take forever to take down because they have high defense, but are immune to arts as well. In this we get a new recipe, Mighty Juice. Sorry, I'm empty. So that was, like, the only reason to go that way, but it was a chest, so it's a good reason. Really? Well, that's why you always be careful when you're running around these places. And have Tita. Okay, 4th floor. Oh no, not you again. And let's just ignore you. Let's just try and ignore you. Okay, good, slipped past. So the 4th floor is the one that has multiple different paths that lead to the 5th floor. Only 2 though. Okay, this one is... Yeah, I think this is the actual main path, so I'm going to head back and take the other one. All the other one leads to is one chest. Well, actually, one chest on this floor and one on the higher floor. And this one is monsters. Okay, so these are the original flavor of Robber Trapper, but they do have very high defenses. It feels like S-Craft's one of the few things that does decent damage to them. And morale, I have actually tested. It definitely doesn't buff arts in this game. A lot of people think it does, but it doesn't seem to do so. Maybe it does in the PSP version, but they've changed it in the PC version. I don't know, but anyway, with a strength buff on Shara, I do have Earth Wall. I may as well put that up, even though this means that Shara can't go for Heaven's Kiss. And I guess Clock Down will definitely help here. Really want to get... I can't catch everything though, and that'll get the Reflecting Shell. Look at all these AoEs all over the place. Let's try and... if I don't kill off that Fly Skipper in one turn, it will just fully heal itself, but still. Okay, this Earth Wall will only last for one hit, which means we won't actually get to see the difference between Aerostorm's animation in FC and in SC. Actually, we will, because this happens even if you're guarded. So yeah, it actually lifts you up into the tornado now, which is kind of cool. Back in FC, it just acted like regular aerial and just hit you with a lot of rocks. But yeah, Aerostorm looks kind of cool now. Though its damage isn't as impressive as you would expect, it's also been nerfed in terms of the quartz that you need to use it. It's a lot harder to get on an ornament than it used to be, so in general, it's not the best thing in the world anymore. I am actually going to go for this because I just really don't want Estelle to die. I'm not even sure why the draining effect even exists, because it barely heals much at all. And you are incredibly low on EP, not even enough to use Latera. Which is kind of a shame. So I'll have to stick with pretty lame healing. Okay, I would really like to use Vital Cannon, but I also want to get rid of that Fly Skipper. And one of the Robber Trappers is dead, which is good. But even better is that Fly Skipper is dead. And they can call more I forgot they could do that. Maybe the reason why I'm forgetting the behavior of a lot of enemies in this game is my test run was on normal mode, which may as well be easy mode compared to hard, so I didn't really get to see much of what the enemies could do. 10% strength turn. I'm tempted to use this with Shara, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I don't know if this will do enough. Actually came pretty close, but I don't have enough for Comet. I do have enough for a Soul Blur, though. So let's just hopefully... No? Really? Yeah, the damage formulas being multiplicative can just get kind of painful, because a very, very small deficiency in ATS means that you're doing, like, nothing to enemies due to just how massively their defenses get multiplied on the higher difficulties. But at least this will definitely do it. Yeah, this is like, what, like over 100 times as much damage? Yeah. I don't think Estella's gonna one-shot any of the Fly Skippers. Is she? No. And you pretty much have to one-shot them, because otherwise they heal ridiculously. Like that. I think Tita is dead. But I can use Chloe's S-Craft. Should I? I kind of want to just do this. To do a bit of damage all around, and then... you have, like, nothing. Panic, because I want to hit that thing with damage, just because S-Craft's like the only thing that can do decent damage to it. And as I thought, Tito's down again. And Fly Skippers, as you can see, are disgustingly fast on hard mode. Okay, at least I got a Petrify off of one of them. I don't have enough for anything. Maybe this is my best option. Yep, that takes them all out. Always nice to have a few attack food items on hand. And how much health do you have left? I am no longer buffed. I don't think that will do enough damage. Oh, it did! Nice! Unfortunately, Tina misses out on the experience, but I don't think these things are worth all that much. And out of that, we get Gypsy Queen. This chest looks sad and deflated now that you've taken all its stuff. This, I remember I like giving this to Speed +5, Arts, Defense, Agility. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good piece of armor. Doesn't increase Arts at all, but yeah, that is, yeah, let's give that to Estelle. Everyone else already has cream coats. I'm probably gonna need to restock my EP charges soon too. The good news is, I'm pretty sure that is the only monster chest in this tower. At least according to the maps I was looking at in one guide, which might be wrong. So we'll see, because this one here looks suspiciously monster chesty. Yeah, that's a word. Diamond Staff. As you open the box again, you think about what it would be like if you lived inside it like a little house. It'd be cramped, but quaint. So, Estelle actually has a better staff now. Yeah, actually, pretty considerably better staff. So let's go ahead and equip that. I think we found a new star for Estelle in Esmelas Tower the first time we were here. So that's kind of full circle. Okay, now the other stairs that lead up to the 5th floor. There's a few more chests for us to get over in this area. Shield 4. You find the greatest treasure of all, friendship! That chest is an immigrant from Equestria. But anyway, so is this our first level 4 quartz? I think it is. So, interesting thing about level 4 quartz. You need a level 2 slot in order to install these. So, Shara can't actually use that in any of her restricted win slots. Estelle, on the other hand, can. So, later on in the game, we will be using mostly level 4 quartz, because they give a lot of elemental value. In fact, can Chloe put this on? Let me just see what happens if she puts that. That's going to drop her ATS quite a bit. You know, it might not be a terrible idea on Tita, though. Yeah, I gave Tita Strike for a 10% chance of critical hits on normal attacks, which they actually made Strike's space element in this game instead of fire, like it was in the first one, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, overall I don't really find shields to be particularly good because it drastically lowers your arts, but it's at least a level 4 quartz. And Duende Slippers. You might look at this chest and think it's empty, but that's just negative thinking. Others see this baby and marvel at the amazing air inside. That's another good one. Okay, so new shoes. 8. Oh, yes! So, yeah, I was explaining earlier in the game, I mean much earlier, how ridiculous Chloe is because of how there's so many stupidly good equipment that is female only that gives massive boosts to ATS. Yeah, that's terrifyingly strong, but for now, it is Arts Defense minus 30, and there are a few basic enemy attacks that qualify as Arts damage in this game, but still, it's a small price to pay. I've been this to Shara now, because I'm actually thinking that I might not end up using Chloe for the end boss of this chapter. There's a reason why, but I'll explain that when I get to it. But here we have that soul tree in the middle of this place. And we already opened that. That leads to the roof, which we actually do need to go to this time. And I think we might actually have all the chests here. Let me just quickly check my notes. Okay, we have all but one chest, and that one chest is actually outside. I missed it on the way in. I blame the fog. So up here, and wow, you can even see some fog clouds blowing over. Up here, you might notice a crow is here, and there's something shiny on the ground. Because this is where the crow must have taken it. So I think it actually is possible to find this ring without talking to Armand and Ellie first, and you might get different dialogue if you do. So let's head back and report, but first we have one chest that we missed at the entrance to this place. Okay, outside, where is it? Yeah, here it is. It's pretty hard to see in this fog. EP charge. As you open the treasure chest, you realize that coming back for more is probably selfish. You decide to leave what remains to others. I'm gonna miss easily accessible free healing once we leave Roland. So, let's go ahead and give the ring back, but I should actually mention something. While you have this ring, let me see if I can find it here. Silver ring, yeah. This actually does count as an accessory that you can wear, but you'll still end up giving it back to them at the end of this quest. It's not like you'd want to keep it, it's a very, very small stat increase. And they're probably going to go at it even more if we give the ring back. Yes, we did. Thankfully, this town has a very convenient high place nearby that birds love to nest in. Yeah, it'd be kind of funny if we went all this way and this actually wasn't the ring. Or if this was actually a better, more expensive ring than the one they had, and they're like, oh yes, this is totally our ring! But no, it actually is the original ring. And so, we have saved a marriage! And like I said, we had to go through the tower anyway, so it was sort of on our way to do other stuff. I just realized it's entirely possible to get the ring and then not give it back to them and keep it in your inventory for the entire game. But, again, there's no real point to doing that because it's not a very good accessory. Yeah, if I remember correctly, you get some pretty good dialogue if you bring Olivier to this. As you would expect. I wonder if that's anything how Tita's parents acted like when they were younger. And so, we have completed the ring that flew away, and they're now completely mesmerized and have no concept of time and space as we know it. So, we may as well report, but there's one more thing that we have left to do. We have the Milch Main Road Monster 2. But we get a decent amount of BP for those two quests. So, Milch Main Road Monster 2. For this one, we're probably not going to want to stay completely bunched up like this. Though we want to stay close enough that Shara can catch us in Heaven's Kiss, so maybe a little bit closer. And Tita, I'm going to go ahead and give her... who has Petrify right now? You do. I might want to swap you over to Mute and put Petrify. That means I have to get rid of Strike, though. Unfortunately. Basically, I want Petrify on someone with a wide AoE attack. Because this mob of enemies is actually not immune to Petrify, and Petrify definitely helps. But also, you want to equip Confusion Protection, and that's why I've gone ahead and bought 4 Lily Necklaces. Of course, there's also the Master Beads, which I might go ahead and, Yeah, I guess I'll give the Master Beads to you so you can keep the Long Barrel. Prevent Sleep and Confuse. Your reward for doing a file transfer and completing both cat requests. That one is an amazingly useful item, so for this chapter specifically. Now, I believe this thing is pretty close to the Purzel farm. It can be a little hard to spot in the fog, especially due to all these really big plants running around, but it's somewhere in this general vicinity. There it is! Yeah, that weird fish unicorn looking floating thing. This one can be a bit of a pain, so I'm going to save before fighting it. Okay, let's go. So we have the Pikehorn, a few of them actually, and the Death Specular. The Pikehorn is actually considered a regular enemy, the Death Specular is not. Like a lot of enemies in this chapter, it is weak to Earth, but it is not immune to petrification. Unfortunately, I don't have enough for Smoke Cannon. My main goal here is to Smoke Cannon and see if I can petrify some of them. No petrify there, sadly. Okay, let's... Aerial is not going to work at all, and you're resistant to that, but I could go for Petrify Cloud. Yeah, so Will-O-Wisp, I believe, can inflict confusion. And it might look like an area attack, but it's actually not. Stupid Atlas. Actually, I could go for the Atlas Hammer, Heaven's Kiss combo. Okay, that thing didn't go into the AoE. Let's go for Heaven's Kiss then. Okay, nothing got petrified from that, sadly. And eat Atlas Hammer! On a crit turn, too. And that's actually one already down. Do you? Yeah, you definitely have enough for Smoke Cannon, too. So, come on, petrify on something. No, but we blinded a few of them. Won't affect the casters, but it will probably affect you guys. Yeah, because that seems to count as physical. Speaking of which, also, Tita's probably dead here. Okay, she was actually barely out of range of that, and that doesn't even hit all that hard. But yeah, speaking of the Will-O-Wisp thing, one thing, I probably already mentioned this, but one thing that has always bugged me about the Pokemon anime is that they have, consistently depicted Will-O-Wisp as an attacking move. It's almost as weird as them depicting Whirlpool as, an incredibly powerful move, even stronger than Hydro Pump in a lot of cases, but, I guess I can use Latira. But, how they depicted Will-O-Wisp was always really bizarre to me. I should also probably show these things' descriptions in a little more detail, because they have a pretty terrifying description. If I show it quickly. Destroys its target's mind and devours their life with arts. Yeah. So, that is completely disturbing. But yeah, I could have sworn these things could be petrified. I just haven't had any luck with it. And nope, I did not magically get lucky there. And let's go for this again. Shame we don't have any Gladiator belts, because those would definitely fuel Shera's CP enough to spam that. Yeah, Estelle's ATS is probably not worth it enough to... And I have those really good slippers on Shera. I should probably be casting with her more often. But yeah, probably not good enough to justify spamming Atlas Hammer with her. Third time's the charm, I guess? Still no Petrify. At least a few of them are almost down. Okay, they have a pretty cool-looking, basic horn attack. Okay, Petrify Cloud, that's one down. Yeah, they're not really that much of a threat when they're blinded. It's actually kind of funny, so when I was doing my test run of this game on normal mode, this fight actually gave me a lot of trouble, but here it's actually not giving me trouble. Maybe because I know to be prepared for it. Okay, can't use Petrify Cloud anymore. I guess I can try and take you two out because you're kind of annoying with your arts. The Death Speculars do have a pretty high amount of ATS. Please don't hit Estelle. Okay, I am going to go ahead and swipe that crit turn because I really, really want to. Is this going to do enough? I had a feeling it wouldn't, but still, that's not terrible damage. Okay, both down, and you can go ahead and heal. Yeah, if you don't have Confuse Protection, this fight is an absolute pain. Take my word for it. It's an extreme pain. Goodbye to you, and let's try and you have, nothing left. Yeah, Chloe is really running through her EP pool. And then I guess I can just finish this thing off with a bunch of Earth Lancers. Especially coming from Shera, which should hit incredibly hard. Well, at least it's harder than the others are hitting. As long as it stays blinded, it's really not going to be much of a threat to us. Yeah, so that resist there, that would have confused me if it weren't for my accessory. So, Confusion Immunity is great here. Suddenly getting reminded of how good Confuse Proof tended to be in Final Fantasy X because of the stupid Marlboros. Just doing that for a little bit of CP on Chloe, which I might actually not end up using later. And there we go. So, mind-eating demon unicorn fish destroyed. That's a weird sentence. And hey, level up on the 2 Force party members just before the boss of this chapter. Great. So, I'll see you back at town. And reporting in. And that gives us the D+ Bracer rank, which gives us Deathblow 1. So it seems weird you're getting Deathblow 1 after Deathblow 2, but there's a reason for that. If you don't remember it from the first game, Deathblow 1 does not break. It is just a quartz that gives all of your attacks a 10% chance of instant death. I don't find it to be as useful in this game as it was in the first. It only counts as 3 times, and there's an art you can get later. Well, we've already said it, it's Death Scream. Death Scream is basically an even better, like, you'll have Death Scream on most characters naturally by the end of the game, due to how much you'll be using Time Quartz, and Death Scream is just basically the same thing, just with a 20% chance of instant death, so anyway. That is all the cleanup that we'll be doing. We'll be taking care of fishing spot search in the post-Chapter 4 segment, because you need a fishing spot we don't have access to right now. And I'll see you next time when we head out to apprehend the culprit. See you then. Okay, I am so glad you went out of that area. I forgot for a second that you were... Yikes. Wow. I forgot how high your arts defense was. I may as well do this, though. Because this should hit something hard. Let's see. Yep. It just kind of goes to show the multiplicative nature of this game's damage formula means that attacks that are more powerful, like the really high power attacks like S-Crafts, they hit way, way harder than basic attacks against enemies with high defense. Don't hit Tita, please. I think I need to... I have Latir, which has a really tiny A. Of course. Tita's really not having a good time lately. Can I get you with Sylphin Whip? Well, I got a Petrify. Shame enemies don't have friendly fire, or else, this petrified enemy would die to, these enemy attacks. Yeah, Chloe runs out of EP a lot more often than I'd expect her to. But I think it's probably because they just overall increase the cost of a lot of arts in this game to make up for augments having, oh, that just barely caught a stealth crap. To make up for the multiple slot upgrading system and you just generally having a lot more of an EP pool. Wow, Blinkin' this battle is suddenly awful.